Hello there, this is Rom coming back at you with yet another car video. Let me straighten this out a bit. Bottom line, women are lusting after men's bodies. And this is a body game video. I ain't done a body game video in a while. And you know, it's kind of funny because it's always, well, I get two things. I get two types of detractors with that. One who says body game don't work, and then they'll say, well, it's only a certain type of body. Both of them is bullshit. Both of them what it tells me is they ain't getting no play with their bodies. Wait a minute, let me move up a bit. Got a car behind me. Got all these cars coming at this crossway. I ain't trying to run into anything. Damn, there's a lot of people coming. Shit. It's one of those things. I ain't trying to get in an accident. Y'all know I gotta be paying attention to everything. Anyway, yeah. So, you get some people, some dudes. It's always some dudes, right? It's never some women. And see, I'm going to tell you what. Women are checking out bodies. That's the main thing. That's why I promote body game. Because, and I said that just from my own experience. Because remember, I said before I got in the body game, I had all the elements of game. And some women even called me handsome. Still being friend zone. But then when I changed the body up, getting played like a champ. Shoot, women were taking me out of the friend zone, doing nasty things to my body. But then when I think back to it, it's always been about that. It's always been about the body. Because, you know what, and I thought about this because I was sitting back chilling yesterday. I was sitting back chilling and I checked out that show, Too Hot to Handle. Now, anybody who follows it know they got it all over the world. And really, Too Hot to Handle any of those dating type of shows. Well, not any of them. I would say the ones they have on the beaches and stuff like that. They come out, the men coming out, they showing their bodies. If their bodies didn't matter, they wouldn't show them. It's just that simple. It's just that simple. Or you wouldn't have male gigolos out there primarily with their bodies making like $700 for 2 hours. They probably making more now. Or you wouldn't have women on these sex tourist vacations. I remember it was Miss Mocha Angel. She told me back in the day, right? Back in the day when they had that movie, How Stella Got Her Groove Back with Taye Diggs. She said her and a friend went to see that movie. When Taye Diggs was showing his body, a woman got up and gave him a standing ovation. And shoot, she'll tell you about that. Look, women are checking out bodies. That's the easiest way to turn on a woman. And yes, that's the base. And yes, you do need a conversation. And if you have some other stuff. But women go crazy over a body. In fact, when women see a man's body and they turned on by it, they getting that twitches and stuff, it's up to a man to blow it at that point. All he has to do is recognize it. In fact, I knew this dude, he was 6'2" and muscular. And no, it wasn't his height either. But he was real muscular. But he might have been one of the dumbest human beings I ever seen. Seriously, just talking with him. But that dude was muscular like crazy. He was in the D.C. area. He stood out like a champ. I would see him around even before I knew him. That's how much he stood out. And women were going crazy over him. And shoot, working in the numerous gyms that I worked in. I mean, that's where you see it. Like, not even, like you get these dudes trying to act like it ain't working. Man, I'm watching it work. I'm sitting in the gym with it. I've told that story many times about this dude fingering this woman in the gym. But he was muscular like a champ. Plus this one gym, that same gym, it had a bunch of male exotic dancers who would work out there. I was watching how the women were going crazy over them, including women who had husbands. There was one in particular, she had her husband working out at the same gym. She was still messing with one of these dudes. Women be going crazy over bodies. But see, where's the thing to understand though, because then we get into some dudes think they'll acknowledge body game, but then they think women only like one type of body. No, women like different types of bodies. All a man has to do is find his boiling point, find his best body, and then which women going to like it. Because you're going to get some women, they're going to like a lean dude, but then some women going to like a big old dude. Because I've said numerous times, I had a woman reject me because, and well, I was roughly around the same weight I am now, but she would prefer like stick thin dudes. But then even when I was bigger than I am now, there was a woman talking about she wanted to put 40 pounds on me. She liked big brolic dudes. But what the common denominator is, they're going to say the body. Now here's the thing. A lot of times women ain't going to always say that publicly, because a guy, if they're around a guy and that guy don't have the type of body that she likes or that she's turned on by, she don't want to make him feel bad. She ain't going to say it. She ain't going to say it. And then, let's just be real out here. With a woman talking about a man's body, she is turned on sexually. And unfortunately, we live in a culture where a woman, she can catch some hell for showing her sexual needs, that she's actually turned on, that she, as Sister Soldier said in one of her books about one of the characters, getting that hot sauce in the stomach or something, being really turned on. Like women, they might not announce it, but if you really pay attention to a woman, especially, like I said, I've worked in several gyms, worked out in several gyms, watching who the women were going crazy over, watching who they were going crazy over, known several players. The common denominator has always been a good body build. A good body build. Now, that could be if they on more the slimmer side and a woman like it, or the bigger side. Like some big mountain dudes, man, they be tearing it up. I've told the story several times. That big Grit mountain dude, Jethro Bodine dude, was tearing up this woman living next door to me. I mean, he was fucking the shit out of her. He was fucking it. I mean, I heard it. She was like, come at me. It's just like, damn. But women, they get turned on. Or if you get comfortable with women, see, I'm the type of man can make a woman comfortable. They'll tell me what they were doing. I remember this dude I worked at the gym with. This woman told me straight up. Now, this dude, he was more on the brolic side. Big football player looking dude. 5'10", had that like running back build. This woman straight up said she was straight up going for him. And then I heard from her friend that same woman was sucking the fuck out of his dick. But it was the body. Women like bodies. It's just a question of which body. Now, they're not going to like a particular, like, don't think like all 4 billion women in the world like the same body. They're going to like different bodies. But whatever it is, if you got that body that a particular woman likes, you turning her on sexually, she's getting wet. And it's going to be different for every woman. It's going to be different. It's not always going to be the same thing. They always ain't chasing. And let me hit something too, because you always still get those dudes. Let me get back to those dudes who act like they ain't checking out the body. No, they ain't checking out their bodies. That's why they don't want to believe it, because they don't have a body that women are getting hot over. Because trust me, when a woman's getting hot over you, she gonna be bumping into you, rubbing you, all of that stuff. Shoot. I remember when I was still working in the government. I'm always going to say that. I had a consultation client. He liked when I say that. But because he worked in the government. But this woman, I remember when I was working in the government. Hey, I saw Popo. This is the first time in a long time. Anyway. Saw this woman working in the government, right? Well, I didn't see her, but she actually wanted me to come to this bachelorette party. She wanted me to dance. I was like, I can't dance. I don't got no rhythm. She was like, that's all right. I didn't do it. That was the first time I was really introduced to it. And you know, it's funny, right? I remember when I first had my book, Nice Guys and Players. And me and my co-parent, we did this vending show. Now, anybody who follow me on my money channel know I'm doing stuff on vending, right? But we did a vending show. And they placed us in this section that had like 4 crews of male exotic dancers. It was us, 4 crews of male exotic dancers selling some calendars and stuff, and a photographer. Let's just say all of us were making money. I remember at one point there was some women standing in my booth area, standing in front of my table, taking some pictures, saying, I don't know why all these women going crazy over these men. Steadily taking pictures. Just like me. And I remember it was crowded over there. It was crowded. Women were going crazy over these guys. It was crowded. It was ridiculous because, you know, I had left the area just for a second, just go to the restroom. And I was like, well, damn, everybody over in this section. They were going crazy over those bodies. In fact, and so I had one crew right in front of me, and there was one point where it was slowing down a bit, but see, other crews had started taking off their shirt, and I was like, I looked over at them, I said, hey, yo, man, y'all gotta take those shirts off. Y'all gotta get these women back over here. Cause shoot, the women over there, ironically, they were looking at my books. Cause like I said, before, I hadn't said this in a long time, but some of the earliest public people who were buying my books were actually women. And Rom just wanted that money, so I was like, shit. But they going crazy. I mean, it's kind of funny that some dudes be trying to either fighting against it or thinking they just like one type. No, you just got to figure it out. Like, if you some big brolic dudes, you ain't going to be some big slim dude. You ain't going to be comfortable with that. But some women, they like that. They like that. And like I said before, sometimes you can really tell what a woman likes by asking her what sport she likes. What sport she likes. Like, you get some women, they like rugby, so they like those big rugby players. Or what position they like in football. Some of them like that slimmer wide receiver or cornerback. Some of them like that running back. Like I said, I knew this one woman. She liked big linemen, and she actually went out, and I could throw out the offensive lineman's name that she had went out with, and she just said she just like a man who can throw her. See, every woman got a type. See, what a man should do when he get into body game is really get his best body. Now, he shouldn't try to be like real lean. They ain't for everybody. They ain't for everybody. Or real big and brolic. They ain't for everybody either. A man just got to get to whatever his best bodybuild is, whatever his genetics allow. And every man has that. Every man got an optimal genetics. Every man has a boiling point. And once again, I'll put that in the description box. When me and Shophar discussed, me and my cousin Shophar discussed boiling point, because that's very important. Every man gotta find his own. But don't act like for a second that women ain't checking out bodies. Don't act like, not even for a second. Don't, because you get some people like, oh no, it's just the face. And it's usually some guy ain't getting no pussy any motherfucking way. No, it ain't the face. Or some guy trying to think it's the face. You know what? I had one dude, right? A commenter hit me up and said, and apparently he was on some moist shit liking my face, right? Saying, oh no, all those women like your face. First of all, this idiot, he wanted to believe it was a face so badly. I was like, how many of, tell me if you knew 3 of my women. 3 women I've got with, just 3. Or just 1, really. And dude couldn't answer. It's like, you don't know what they like. I know what they telling me. You know? And a woman calling me like the body, or they like the body, or this or that. Want to get out there like whipped cream, all of that. Please. Shoot. I don't be saying body game just to be saying it. Hell. And I've seen it work. Listen to some women. Because, shoot, you get real comfortable with some women, they'll tell you, well, no, they like this body. They like that body. Like, don't get caught up. See, deep down, a lot of dudes want to just get caught up in what they might be closest to, or they don't have a body that turns women on. They don't hit the gym. They don't do anything like that. Shoot, even if a dude is... he might be what a woman would call medium ugly or something. But the women's still checking out the body. Because it's just like when men checking out a woman. She could have an average face, but if she got those nice breastises or big old butt dunk or those thick thighs, which save lives. Shoot. A man's checking her out, right? But just like that man is checking out a woman's body, a woman is checking out a man's body. And the primary reason is she want to see you naked. She want to deal with you. And I remember this one dude, may he rest in peace. I ain't going to call his name, but this woman, it was on a job, and this other woman would say, you know what? Because he had a genetic thing with his face. And I never forget what this woman said. And she said this in a mixed crowd. She said, you know what? He probably got the most beautiful dick. She said that. She said that in a mixed crowd. And shoot. And even on different jobs, just watching the women, not even just talking with them, but just watching them. They're going crazy over the bodies. Now, like I said, every woman, there's not just one particular body. Like, this is the most important thing, and I've said this several times. Now, at first I used to say, hey, just be muscular. But you know what? There's some women who don't like that, but they like something. Because when a woman's checking out a man, before he even opened his mouth, that's one of the main things she's going to check out. And she got to be good with seeing him naked. If she's going to respond to him in any way, it's a sexual thing. It's a sexual thing. She has to be good with him being naked. She got to like his body build. And so a man, see, what a man need to do is work out to the point. And he can tell right away which women are checking him out, because they're going to be friendly to him. They're going to check him out. They're going to look him up and down. And it really depends, like I said, it depends on what they like. Even that thing with dad bods, because you had some guys talk about it, but some women like that. Like, one of the things, too, don't try what a particular woman like. Don't try to, like, get her off of that. Don't, she like what she like, all right? Some women like, Cousin T-Tar would call them roughnecks. I call them bangers. Those dudes who, they might not be cut or anything like that, but they might just be big. And it could be for whatever reason. He could throw people around or something like that. Or he look like he might eat something. I've met some women, they like a little bit of gut. Like, I would say you don't want to go for that unless you notice you got a little bit of gut and you still getting some play from some women. It depends on the women. And like I said, it could be for whatever reason. Every woman is going to have a particular body type that she go crazy over. She going to have, well, I would say it like this. She'll have a body type that she don't want to deal with. She'll have a body type that, she'll be all right with. A body type that she'll really like, and then one she'll lose her mind over. Now, you ain't going to really know which type of bunch of women are like. All you doing is getting your best body and seeing which women pay attention to it and develop your tribe. Develop your tribe. And you don't know. And you can't go and don't get caught up in what a guy says. Don't get caught up in what a guy says. That's why I always say whatever your best body is. Don't get caught up with a guy, because a guy don't have a vagina. And even when you deal with some women, even with their vaginas, that one particular woman might not like your body, but the other one did. Like, I've known some women, like, they ain't pressed about a guy who's too cut. They like a guy with some meat on him. But then you got some women, they don't want that muscular guy. They want that slimmer guy. They don't want that. Shoot. Because even when I was checking out Too Hot to Handle, the Italian show, Italia, right? And they had one guy, I mean, that dude, he was built like the Hulk. In fact, one of the characters, one of the contestants called him that, right? He big, he tall and big and stuff. But then another character came on, he didn't really have any muscle like that. He was more in that slimmer thing. But you're going to have some women that like that Hulk dude, some women who like that slimmer dude. As a man, just get what your best is. Your best. Don't worry about it. And if you ain't getting nothing, you ain't getting no play, then you might need to change something. Because it's all in the women that you're being around, everything. You might have to put on some muscle. You might have to lose some weight. You might be good where you at. It all depends. It all depends. So, but I'm gonna tell you what, I'm gonna always push body game, because they turned on. Just like a man is turned on by breastises. Some women are turned on by chestises. In fact, I'm gonna tell you what's deep with it. Let me go deep, and I've gone deep like this before. You can tell a lot about a woman by what body parts she's looking at. Like, if she's looking at a man's legs, she likes a man who's grounded to the earth. If she's looking around his butt, and they do look at that ass too, a man who's creative, a man who could maybe thrust good. And she turned on by just his like midsection, well, that's a man's core right there. That's his power. She turned on by his chest, that's more paternalistic. His arms, protective. Shoulders, he can shoulder responsibility. She turned on by his back, a man with a strong backbone. And yes, man, some women can get turned on by your face and everything. It depends. It's different parts. Your face could be in there too. But trust me, all women, I don't care who they are, they're looking at the whole package. Because think about it like this. If women weren't turned on by the bodies, they can get with anybody. Because really, faces ain't that different. Faces don't stand out. And even when somebody wants to talk about that whole Chad and Tyrone, They got bodies. None of them like without a body. Shoot. Put on weight on any single one of them and see how many women are showing attention to them. See how many women. Shoot. Or and even with your face. Yeah. In fact, I'll shout out a name who doesn't really have that square jaw, Michael B. Jordan. Women be going crazy over him. But when did they start going crazy over him? When they started going crazy. When they saw him as Killmonger, when they saw him as Creed, they were like, oh, wait a minute. Women were going crazy over body. So, yeah, stick with it. Stick with it. And you know what? Don't try to judge any or the other body. As long as that dude getting women, like I've talked about several times, like dudes going to another man and asking about how they look. Ask women. Ask women, okay? Anyway, that's all I got for today. I'll get back with y'all. Peace and blessings.